All right, guys, welcome back to Keeping It Real with TNL. This is episode 40. Wow, 40 episodes.
40 weeks in a row, haven't missed a beat.
We're on our game.
I know.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what we said too. I love that. So, guys, today we're going to be diving into something that's been blowing my mind a whole lot lately. And we're going to be talking about let me start over. We're talking about metabolomics, genomics, and GI testing. So I'll be honest with you guys. Lori, she's going to be the expert here. This is what she's been doing even way before the Metfix stuff. This is how she was obviously solving issues with a lot of the clients that she had and actually was able to heal them. So I'm going to let her talk about these tests, but really quick spoiler alert, so you guys know I've also taken one of these tests too. So Lori, we're going to talk about my test. I took a metabolomics test that was August of 2023. So we'll obviously talk about that and some of the things that I had found out and how that actually helped me.
Yeah. So yeah, functional testing, it's a super important subject. It's not just science for science sake, right? So you go to a doctor and you do blood work, and there's this huge range of it's acceptable from 100 to 3,000, or the ranges are kind of big. Functional testing looks at things a little bit differently. It's explaining why your body's doing what it's doing. It's like on the metabolomics test, there's 5 different categories that we'll get into. We talked a little bit about yours, but it's hey, why am I always tired? Why, no matter what I eat, what I do? And then we look at energy metabolism, the B vitamin section, right?
Yes.
So you get to see things on the metabolomics from that perspective. GI test, of course, is stool test because we're looking at what's going on in your gut. And then the genomics is just DNA.
Genomics DNA.
Yeah, so Lizzo just took a DNA test. She's 100% that bitch. So my DNA test was different.
Wow.
It was bitch, you got problems. That was my test. It was a little bit different. So.
I love that.
Okay, so yeah.
No, so let's kind of break it down first off. So obviously, these are tests that obviously tell you things that are going on basically under the hood.
Yeah.
And then it and kind of basically breaks it down to a point where some of these tests could actually find out where you may be deficient in certain vitamins or things like that. You can kind of break down each specific one and kind of which one you would kind of recommend or.
Yeah. So metabolomics is usually a great starting point. There's 5 categories, and I'll read them off because I always have a way of forgetting something. Energy and metabolism, so the Krebs cycle, ATP, all the stuff we learned in Metfix about mitochondria and all of that. That's section 1. Section 2 are your B vitamins. It's a big one because a lot of people have a gene mutation where they can't break down B vitamins and absorb them. It greatly affects the brain and different things in the body. Then we have the central nervous system, which looks at neurotransmitters and hormones, toxic implants, and digestion and microbial metabolites. So in short, oxidative stress, all the different acids in the body, like pyruvic acid, super high, lipoic acid, supplementary, never going to lose weight no matter how much try, all these different things. Toxic implants will let somebody know. Everybody's heard of Candida and SIBO, right? So Candida is the yeast overgrowth, and then the SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And people throw, there's fat.
You guys knew that.
They knew that.
Yeah,
There's
testing you guys.
I know. I'm caught up out there. Embarrassing for them. But seriously, there's trends. I know Gary Brecka came out and he really put the spotlight on the MTHFR gene that a lot of us have been talking about and testing for a long time. But I love that because awareness comes with that. And as someone who knows the shit, he's a biology guy. So that's really great. But when I get the 14 pages of results from the urine sample, that's just how to gather the data, I see a lot of things. I even see that someone's diabetic before they've done a blood test with their doctor, and I'll get a call from the lab, hey, your patient is severely diabetic. And I'll call them, and they're like, yeah, I just was asked to take a blood test. So we can see a lot of things in that.
You're able to stop some things that actually in their tracks prior to them even.
Yeah. Sadly enough, in our small group programs we're doing through Metfix, in the intake forms, I asked for recent blood work, and I'll be like, oh my God, you're diabetic. And they're like, really? And I'm like, where is the doctor that ordered the blood work?
You know?
No. Yeah, we've had a couple of people, and I'm just Why is this happening? Yeah. Why do I feel like shit and busy and and that whole low blood sugar or sleeping for 20 hours? It's a hot mess. So these functional tests serve a lot of purposes. And I feel like when you take a metabolomics test, it'll tell you that you need a GI test if the metabolites in the antimicrobial section of the gut is off the chart. And then I always recommend the DNA test because you really get to see a lot. And then I get a 3D picture of you, just like the psyche. I can not just look at like, here's your weight, here's your body fat, and here's your visceral fat. I'm looking at the image of you and turning it around and comparing it. And the three tests together make a big deal.
So this is me. Like I said, I already see the value somewhat. I mean, I'm going to obviously talk about it more with you.
Yeah.
But clearly, like if there's one, if you are someone who doesn't even know that you're a diabetic or in that state, and a doctor doesn't even tell you, but you're able to figure that out for them during this and kind of start to mitigate that, that alone is huge. Yeah. That's a game changer. And it almost sounds like these are cheat codes to individually determine what the individual needs, and right, not just trying to provide them a blanket system of, okay, well, we'll just cut carbs through CrossFit. It's like, yes, that works for maybe 90%, but yeah, there may be some other things that we have to kind of look into.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can answer those questions now.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit more about it, like when we get into my test results that helped me understand why I could eat a certain way because of a genetic variant or mutation, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's like a fingerprint, right? Like it's your code. But on a good note, like if we retest your metabolomics test, you'll see the difference from 2023 till now because you're going around 100. The things that you do, it changes with you. And if functional medicine is root cause healing, this is root cause of issue roadmap, right? Because when I go to a doctor, we're like, oh no, your cholesterol's high. Because every year we lower what a normal cholesterol is and pump you full of now you have Alzheimer's. Oh, like this is like, well, maybe you have no energy because your B vitamin section is absolutely freaking tanked, and you cannot get past pyruvate to make anything in the Krebs cycle to create energy, right? You actually get to see that. It's like solving crime. It's crime scene investigation. You're like unraveling stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and that makes it different. So, just for myself, I could say that makes a huge difference because you actually know why you're not functioning at your best. Yeah. So you can't keep using it's just because I'm getting old, or it's because I had kids, or it's because of this and that.
Because I'm busy.
I love the busy one.
I love.
You don't even, Ty, you would never understand how busy I am. You don't know. Never. You don't know what it's like. But, so now, speaking of that, though, you mentioned something that kind of made me laugh. You said the fingerprints. So you're saying that you have my chemical fingerprints?
I ran your prints through the system. There.
Oh, okay.
If I do your DNA, I'll put you in COVID. So I'm gonna find it all the dirt on time because he's not busy, so he's probably up to no good.
Up to no good.
He's got free time.
No, man,
he got one day off in here. It's like it's time for my one day off in a year, and I'm like, cool your jets, buddy.
It's okay.
You should try working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Show up here sometime.
It's funny because it's true. Like we work nonstop. I know. Hey, but up top on that, I swear it still keeps us young and going. Okay, so yes, you've been all cleared with the fingerprints. We can go on with this podcast. They come in, Ty.
So let me do word. Okay.
It's all set up. Like they take the pilot off the plane when it lands.
Oh.
Intervention. That's what this is all about. No, but seriously. Okay. So we did, I went back because I have the whole database of all my patients and tests that are encrypted. Don't fret them.
HIPAA wasn't violated.
HIPAA wasn't. I need to see your COVID vaccine because HIPAA violations don't count.
Oh,
but everything else is
everything else. Everything else.
Do you have the card?
Make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense. But yeah, I just throw it out there. So going back then, there was a moderate need in the energy metabolism and some neurotransmitter balance and detox support. So we ended up with the lipoic acid and then the catechol to just kind of calm down the system.
Yes.
Well, a couple of years ago, you have really your whole energy has changed, right? Mindset. So stress does not affect you the way it used to. I think you process and manage things. So I know for a fact that if we ran the test again, it would just be like, you don't need to calm your adrenal glands. You're pretty well then on that.
But it was still at the time though, it was still lower.
Yeah.
I think
It was then. So lipoic acid for 2 months and a round of catechol. And that's the thing. Like, I am not Kaiser, so I don't want you to take this vitamin forever or this medicine forever. Right? Hey, I heard you want to do Ozempic. Cool. You're gonna have to stay on it forever now. Like,
I know, yeah.
we talked about that. That's wild. So no, it's not like that. Like, if there's something that is not driven by a genetic variant mutation, like for me, we'll talk about that with my MTHFR gene, I will always be on methylated B vitamins because my body does not have the capability of breaking them down and absorbing them on their own, right?
Yes.
It is what it is. So once again, practically perfect in every way, Mary Poppins, practically. Not every way. there's a couple holes in my game. There's a lot. I'm being sarcastic, but that's definitely one of them. So when I'm working on something that needs to be healed, it's to get your body able to do the things it can do again. Now, if you take the DNA and you're like, oh no, I have X, Y, and Z, then we're like, okay, then this one specific supplement you'll need. Or someone who's had their gallbladder removed, right? They need to be on the liver gallbladder supplement to do the work of the important organ that was taken out for usually unnecessary reason, but some people necessary, right? So there are times like that when the vitamin or the supplement is in there for the long game.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of the test. Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense. Like you said, if somebody has a gallbladder removed and now that particular it's not being used in the process of dealing with things and the toxins are starting to stack up, then yes, I could see how that one should be taken all day because you're not going to get a new gallbladder. So you have to have something to obviously help with that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But so and now I could see here, I remember 2023 because like you said, I wasn't I wasn't bad, but I still wasn't where I'm at now. Yeah. And then thinking about it, I was still consuming carbs, not as much, but I was still like during that phase, like if we're out on a weekend, I'm gonna have some drinks or have a piece of bread or something nonsense. And now, so yes, I could totally tell too, like because those were some of those things that you had mentioned, like I always had the energy issues where I would just go and go and go, even though I knew that I was tired. I wouldn't let anyone else know that I felt tired. Yeah. But like I knew like why do I feel like some days I'm like walking around and sleeping shoes probably all like it just felt harder. And that was the food. And then like you said, you were able to tell me about my high stress. Yeah. And so that was literally a year being out of the field, but it was one of those things where I was still stressed because I was in a new environment. Yeah. And I was still learning a new job. This is my first time working with Tim and doing all these things. So I remember being not stressed like in a bad way for anything that you guys were doing, but because of new environment and trying to live up to standards. It like all of these things were taking place. And I remember seeing those red, seeing the green, what was good, what was bad. Yeah. So no, absolutely. It's useful because it's almost like this. We use all these metaphors, but it is literally like a car. Yes, a car can still run when it needs an oil change, but imagine how good it won't once it realizes that you need oil. It's like, oh, so that was missing, or oh, these fucking spark plugs are old. That's how come I'm not starting up right. Or, like all these things, and it gives you that actual internal. Which once this is feeling good, then it makes the workouts and everything else, and even where I'd be like, oh, something's actually happened now because my body's processing everything right, and it's being utilized how it's supposed to because we found out where the holes were. So, like I said, these are that cheat code that give you an inside look under the hood of what's truly taking place. These are like I would probably recommend it to anybody starting out on any program just to see. Okay, we have the STIKU for the outside stuff. Now this is going to be the thing that gives us our inside stuff. So we have two completely different sets of data that we could use to track an individual's progress and for you to heal them. Yeah, things here. I love it. So
Yeah.
You've done all three.
I have. Yeah.
You've done also. Once again, I already know like you kiss Lori all the time. But I'm say it. At least she does what she talks, which is more than I could say for most people. Lori will be the first person. If she's going to ask you to take a test, she's probably taking the test. If she's going to ask you to do a diet, she's probably already done it. If she's going to ask you to try a workout, she's probably already done it.
Yeah.
So it isn't like it's just random nonsense. It's always based on facts. So let's talk about you.
It's me just being a sadist. I'm also best workout ever. Fucking hell. Oh God, Lori, why did you like this workout? Never do that workout. I live for you. Who told you that? You pull out the cameras in the gym. And I'm like, oh shit, I did. But like watching people suffer. No, not really. Okay, so couple of things. First of all, I went through training for all the spotlight tests through Designs for Health. So as a practitioner with them, being able to order the functional tests while not being a naturopathic doctor or even an MD, someone that has to have that to order, these are specially made for us because we all have smarts to deal with it. And we went through a ton of training with Dr. Oscar COMT. He's brilliant. I'm actually going to do a webinar with him the 16th of October about Akkermansia and different things in the gut, which I love because that's a really important bacteria in the gut. It's how people lose weight and stay thin. It's a good, and probiotic in the gut. Or you could take it out exogenously finally, but usually it dies when air hits it. So it's been a long road to get that out for people. But I digress. So because I had done 23andMe, I was able to upload my raw data and then just pay $50 to do the test instead of it might be closer to 300, which isn't bad for DNA tests because back years ago, we're talking thousands of dollars for genetics. It was wild. So I love that they're accessible. And if you have like an HSA or whatever, I'll write why we had to do the test and then you'll get your money back from that. So it's cool. So the DNA one, genomics, whatever you want to call it, I do have the MTHFR gene. So I don't process folate well. I don't break down the B vitamins, right? I don't methylate them. I don't absorb them. And for a lot of people, when they're on the high end of it, that's where you get like schizophrenia, like major mental illness and disease because the brain is starving, right? So we've talked about this on past episodes. When you're a teenager, it's super angsty and anxiety ridden and most of it's hormonal. If they go to Cal High, it's still good too. The P5P version of B6, get them on that. And let's try the natural route before the meds. They come with side effects like suicide, right? Like we know one wants to talk about that, but we'll talk about it because we keep it real. So with the MTHFR gene, I'm like, okay, I will be on methylated B the rest of my life.
You've already come to terms with
and it's fine because there's liquid there. I can break it down into P5P, folate, and then sublingual B12 trichobalmin lozenge, which tastes delightful. Or I can do one B vitamin pill, or I can do liquid B when I'm traveling. It's the least of my worries. It's quite simple. And in the absence of it, like I think when I was in Europe, I probably went a few days and forgot my vitamins. I was just happy year before last or whenever I went. I feel it. I feel my energy drop. Like in the absence of it, I'm like, oh God. Or I get kind of snappy. So you could tell the complete difference when it's doing what's supposed to. Oh yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times it's subtle because we're so used to feeling like shit. Then we feel better. And then we're like, oh, this is just how I feel. And then you forget your supplements. You're like, oh no. Like I just told Coach Janice this morning, I forgot creatine for like 6 days. And I'm like, what is going on here? I was like, I'm sitting in my son this morning, like, the body feels old today. I'm like, girl, how you forget that? Because it's in a sealed bag and it's a powder and it's not in a pill container. That's how I forget that. So I'm going to, a little checklist. It's homecoming week. I'm busy. Got stuff for me. Stuff to do. I got stuff to do. I also have the COMT gene variation, right? COMT. So it affects how I break down stress hormones and caffeine. And I was a pretty high stress kind of person. And when I do have too much caffeine, I feel like I'm going to throw up and pass out. Like, really? Yeah. Like I used to do 2 nitro cold a day before Medfix and getting the healthiest I've ever been. And then I'd be like, oh, my stomach, or I'd be just like stressed out from it because my body's like, bruh, Maybe just have your cappuccino homemade and call it a day, right? Or the 200 gram milligram. Our purple Finny, bro. Energy drink. I can have like 1 week, right? Good kind of thing. Yeah.
That purple drink, it gets you every time.
Yes. Every time. It's so good though. It's good for our DNA. And then also, I could never figure out why I couldn't be ketogenic. Like, it would make me feel sick eating that much fat. And although I didn't write down the actual, I think it's AOP E3 or something, is where you have process issues with saturated fat. And saturated fat is what we need in high volume. So, knowing how to break it down with like the pancreatic enzymes and different things, that's why I'm thriving on carnivore. I eat red meat 7 days a week. This is week 10.
Oh, dude, you know exactly what to say to turn me on. Here we go. That's hot.
Kind of like a really masculine Pete Hegseth conversation for the women. That I was like, dude, it smells like aphrodisiac in here. He's talking right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's nothing sexier than a woman turning to be like, I've ate meat for 7 days fucking week. Oh,
every day.
every day.
That's why I'm working out, because it's expensive to get clean red meat, but it's okay. It's worth it. It's worth it. So yeah, now knowing, that I can look back and know what supplements would help me. Even on our anniversary dinner going out to eat, I had shoulders.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you can hold the potato. I'm not going to eat it.
You just did the straight up
Just give me that and some garlic prawns for an appetizer. I know that was great. It's Italia on Main Street in Half Moon Bay. So shout out to them. It was so amazing. I absolutely had 1 glass of red wine. It was a Sangiovese, which is my thing. But today's October 1st. You'll be watching this October 2nd. And I'm both feet in on Sober October with Cara Thompson. I love her. So I hope more people are joining me. And let me say this too. All the different things. If you're that person who's like, oh, I love going out, but I'm so hungover and this and that. If you don't detox well, the metabolomics will show that your detoxification pathway is inhibited. There's actually a whole section on the DNA as well.
Really?
And then if you must have a drink, pregame with the liver detox packet before you drink and have one when you get home. And then you won't just be like missing church on Sunday and sitting on the couch all day and watching some subpar show on Netflix. There's ways of getting around things. The best thing is just to not drink if it makes you feel like crap. But some people won't stop doing that.
No.
So there's a reason why, and the test will show you for my people that are sad about that.
No.
So yeah.
So this is huge because number one, I'm just kind of curious. Let's just start up on the top with the MTHFR. So you were saying that this for this particular variant, you have to take the pill all the time. Now let's just say, what does life look like if you don't take this test and find this out? Like where would you?
I mean, you're always feeling you're stressed. Your brain never really calms down. It's a big one in pregnancy too. Okay. So let's just say, like, I didn't know I had it when I was pregnant with Ashley. And there's something in a prenatal vitamin called folic acid, which is bullshit fake methylated folate, which is what you need. So for all the women thinking about getting pregnant or are pregnant, that's what you need. So let's make this relevant to the news, right? Sure, yeah. So 40-year Harvard study about Tylenol, 40 years old, but everybody hates Trump. So when he talks about it, you get these like really mentally ill women taking mass amounts of Tylenol. On social media, one died, if that's true, right? No, like, so you're like, first of all, scary that person is going to be a parent someday if they live through that. You're like, no, from
seriously, yeah.
I mean, literally, I
would rather just do his job.
The wheel on this one. Yeah. It's crazy. So yeah. When you have a methylation issue or you can't get enough folate to process it or absorb it, that directly affects the fetus growing inside you, your child, right? So all the shit you're putting in your body that you can't detox, that you shouldn't be putting in anyways, or things that you're eating and you're not getting the micronutrients because you don't break down B vitamins, it affects them, right? So there's been warnings since the 70s before I was born about this. So, I mean, you can be, people are going to do what they're going to do, I guess, but that's really irresponsible.
No, absolutely.
And the slow drip of helping people understand what drives autism is hard for a lot of people because we get vaccines and doctors become a toxic religion, like the cults. I will die on this hill for my ability to. You're going to be able to take and do whatever you want whenever you want, but the rest of us really want to know what we're putting in our body.
Yeah.
Because we want to know why. It's like many friends whose kids are autistic, and one will gladly tell you it was after the 2-year shots with her, right? It is what it is. Your feelings are your feelings, but please don't turn it into like cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yes.
But this gene mutation, this variant that we're talking about, there's all the different variants of the variant. These are the things that cause that. That's why some people die within 24 hours of the COVID vaccine and some are dead yet.
Wow.
Right? Because what you're made of and how you process and detox determines a lot of how you handle vaccinations.
So
and medications.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a huge deal.
So I hope if well, it's always the left. So if people on the left watching this who are like upset that Bobby Kennedy is trying to help clean food up and let us know what we're taking and what's in it and why it's important or why it's not, like just understand that you don't understand what's happening underneath the clothing and the skin.
Absolutely.
If you've not read your DNA and you haven't talked to a functional doctor or even a doctor who understands genetics, then you just look stupid. So don't mark yourself safe from Tylenol because that makes you look stupid on your post. Like you should always want to learn more. Never stop that thirst for learning. Right? Because what if I had done that back when I was sick for a year, my whole life, health problem after health problem. And some people don't even know how to identify as healthy anymore because they're just sick. And then they're Munchausen by proxy parents. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the stuff. So when you hear this, really look back into the vetted science that it's coming from, because you'll all quote Harvard in a heartbeat if it's for something that you want to be true.
Yes. Exactly.
So that you have to really look into that. So let this be educational on all the different levels for you today, coming from a totally neutral place of my passion in life is to make anyone from any political affiliation healthy, because I just love seeing people live and have a life worth living. Right? So that's where this test could really make a difference.
I was going to crack a little joke and just if there's anybody on the left that is still watching us after 40 episodes, thank you for sticking it out because you should have probably been done after episode 6. But still, thank you for still here. You're still here.
No, but I
might be converted.
It's a matter of like everybody has feelings, but we don't run a world, a health system, a government, and a military around feelings. Like we really have to stick on facts and the blessing is that someone who doesn't know you cares enough and risks his life to let you know the shit that's in the food, the drinks, the supplements, and the vaccines that are causing problems. Because everybody knows that the old thermometers, if they're old enough to know what that is, if it would break in school, everyone's like, oh my God, don't touch the mercury, it's poison. Why do you put it in my filling? Why do you put it in my mouth? Why is it in my shot? Why do you want mercury? Do you not remember the whole polio sham?
Remember the whole
That the whole Pear Spring spray came in and they would treat sick kids with straight mercury, and then they end up in the iron lung and they called it something that needed a vaccine. Like if you really stop and look back of documented things that were happening, you'd be like, why the fuck is mercury in a vaccine?
Yeah, this might lead to conspiracy episode 32.
Yeah, no, really.
Like that's real talk. Everybody knows mercury.
Like you have to ask the questions.
Yes.
Like why did the New York Times just say a few days ago that glyphosate isn't that bad?
You told me it's the glyphosate. So We recently, Lori told me that there is an article out there that is not only trying to say that glyphosate, which is it's the pesticide that's used to
On
spread
the
across the board.
yeah, it's on everything now. Everything tests positive for it in California.
And so
Especially.
basically, if you do any research on the harm it does or any of the videos that have ever been made since this product has been out there, it's easy to find truth. But now, all of a sudden, in 2025, there is an article that's saying not only is it not as bad, but there could be health benefits. So hold on. You are telling me that after you guys had said for years and years the stuff is pretty toxic, that now the toxicity hasn't changed, but it's somehow healthy for me. Like there's benefits. Like this is going to now help me become a better human. Is what things now basically change the rhetoric.
They did. It's mind blowing because everybody watching this, if I was like, hey, good news. That shit you spray to kill the dandelions in your driveway that come up through the cement blocks, the Roundup weed killer, which is glyphosate. Cheers. Hey, maybe for the 17th anniversary party, instead of Rodell bringing scotch, we'll have him bring Roundup. Because you all feel good about it after this New York Times opinion.
You know,
right?
I might actually marinate the tri-tip.
There you go.
Because,
and all of you be like, we're not going to drink that.
With a straight
You
face.
should eat it every day. And then again, like it's in your backyard. And in 2019, New York Times wrote about the couple in Livermore that beat Monsanto in a lawsuit because they both got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So if somebody has to suit up in hazmat to spray it on the crops, why are we having this discussion? Like, isn't that kind of hey? And they still got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Try that one on for size. So yeah,
even with the gear and everything else.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And
it's amazing what people will just drink. Talk about drinking the Kool-Aid. We'll just call it drinking the glyphosate because people are just in such a mind-fucked bubble of just nonsense that they'll believe anything. Hey, like I just saw that, everyone's talking about it on TikTok. And I bring this up because if you're my age and have a kid, they're talking about all the fads on TikTok. They're like, dude, Chinese doctors just cured type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And of course, being in the BSI Med Society and broken science and everything, I haven't had a moment to even look into what this is based on or the efficacy of any of it yet, because I'm like, if it's on TikTok, it's probably not true.
Yeah, it's on
the latest fad. Like, granted, they do probably give us more truth and alien stuff than the government, but that's not that important anyways. But my point is this, like, you really got to vet where you're getting it from. And if you don't understand science or case studies or medical journals or 200% increase, what that really means, like maybe 5% more of cases, when there's a course for that. Just type in the comments. They'll tell you how to get on BSI and brokenscience.org and take that so that you're like, oh,
absolutely.
We don't have a 98% chance of dying from this, just 4.
And so what Lori's saying is something that we've always preached here, which is you guys need to do some of your own research on these topics, some of these articles that are coming out. Be like, okay, that is the article. Now let's see if everything else matches up with that, or if this is just more propaganda or more nonsense. Yeah. And then not only that, you should basically take everything that you hear from your friends or on social media. It's almost like hearing stuff back when we were kids at recess. Yeah. There's maybe like a hint of truth, but it's never the whole entire story. Like I remember one of my favorite recess stories as a kid, like 2nd grade. Have you ever ate sushi? You know it's raw fish, right? And that's how I found out that sushi was raw fish. It was recess talk. So my mind said like, ew, raw fish. Like, yeah. Yeah. And so now, no, at that time, no one was like, no, Ty, there's a nice Golden Crisp California roll that you might like. No one mentioned that then. No, but that's the info that I missed. And so I completely just hook, line, and sinker. Sushi is raw fish, which equals bad. And so it took me till I was like 21 to eat sushi. You can blame it on recess. You lost so many years. I lost so many years of sushi eating based on me accepting recess rhetoric. To that kid that said that, I'm going to keep his parents.
Can't believe that. We can't even make it for last time to spoil the price.
So see, but that is what I am saying when it comes to information. That is literally the level that the media is at. It's recess info where it's just a statement, and then they're hoping that you stop right there. Oh my God. No, it's okay. Okay. They just said it's okay because I saw it in this headline. I actually didn't click on it, but it's okay. Okay, I'm good now. Like that's literally how that's recess style info is just taking it off of face value with zero research. And you don't want to do that because you would never do that with anything else. And especially with the food that you're eating and all these other things. And so this is why I also like what we're talking about here. Let's get back on topic with the metabolomics test. This is literally you not just doing surface work.
Yeah.
You are actually saying, I feel this way. Let me find out what's wrong with me. Not let me try. Oh my God, I saw Coach Ty doing this workout. Maybe that'd get me back on track. No, probably not. Because I know where I'm at. And so I could do these things because I feel good. And you'll be able to do those things too once you find out what's causing some of these ailments within your body. Because you don't want to not have certain vitamins or minerals. That means that you're basically malnourished. You're not functioning at your best.
Yeah.
And these tests are obviously going to help you not only learn where you're coming up with those imbalances, it's going to fix those, which is going to lead to you actually feeling good in your body again. And here's the truth: most of these things, like Lori said, a lot of these are some of these things are genetic, and you may not know that you have some of these mutations. So that's one thing that you may want to find out. But then some of it can be caused by the food that you are consuming. But because you don't know how deep it truly goes, this might be the thing that actually finally clicks in your head. Oh my God, it's not just about fitting in a better pants anymore. This is about, can I actually wake up and want to be here on earth? Or am I just literally going through the motions because I hate how I feel and look?
Yeah.
This could help solve that.
It can.
These fucking tests are serious business.
The big things. Yeah. I'll say this on the genomics. A lot of people, for one, it's not good. There's different tests. Like there's actual genetic testing just to see which cancer variant genes you have, which is a really slippery slope to me because with Tom Seyfried's mitochondrial metabolic dysfunction, viewpoint on cancer is like really a big deal because we spend hundreds of billions a year researching cancer as genetic only. And every year more people get cancer and die of it. And someone just said to me, oh, well, the reason why there's so many more breast cancer cases are more people are getting imaging. And I'm like, okay, so maybe we're detecting it earlier, but that's not why there's more cancer. It's because something's driving the cancer. They're marked dead from cancer, and that goes into the stats. Nobody's like, no, don't mark it as they died of cancer. Just mark it as like we have more cancer because people had imaging done. And that's the lack of logic runs deep.
That's like saying that there's more eggshell white because there's more Home fucking Depots out in the world now than there were in the 60s.
There you go. Yeah, it's wild. So epigenetics, again, is how you live. So even if you're like, oh my gosh, I have X, Y, and Z variants, this is horrible. My cognition, this and that, because there's a cognition section on the DNA. Well, how are you living? What are you doing to make that gene express itself or not express itself? Right? So let's take it backwards. You eat a lot of sugar. No one in this room does, but let's pretend we do. And then we're diabetic. And then we have cancer. And then somebody tells us, go ketogenic, and we do. And we beat the cancer. So then, don't you think maybe the sugar was a driving force behind that genetic expression? Like, where does it come from, really?
Yeah.
If you can starve it out, taking it out, and it feeds off it, then what started it? And then what if that person that has cancer doesn't have a genetic marker for cancer? Then what's the argument? Then not all cancer is genetic, right? So epigenetics, again, is like how you live will express itself in how you feel. So the potholes on 680 are no shortage, no 680 Crow Canyon to El Costa. And like, this part of the freeway is about the sinkhole, right? Like, I need alignment again. So you avoid them. right? So if you know that there's shitty things that got stacked up against you, thanks, mom, dad. I'm just kidding, right? You do things to not drive right into them.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
I love
So
that
that's
because you're absolutely right. If I saw a hole in the middle of the freeway and I knew that all the damage that it's going to cause, I definitely wouldn't just, well, I'm falling in it anyway.
streamline.
There's nothing I can do now. Like, and that's how most people live their lives when it comes to food and fitness. Well, fuck, I'm already a fat piece of shit. I might as well just diet, I guess, than be the person driving into the hole when you could actually stop it. Like, that's what's so crazy is like you could actually stop it. And then Lori just laid it out with the whole entire cancer thing. You starved out the sugar and did the keto. Oh my God. Now it's not here. It's like, it, it isn't even hard. It's just a matter of one, listening to us, doing your own research, but then taking the action steps and actually trying to make the change. So speaking of make the change,
Yeah.
let's start here. If somebody is listening right now and they're thinking that this sounds super complicated, where do they even start?
Just reach out. I mean, what's a urine sample to get 14 pages of information you didn't have before, right?
Absolutely.
It's not complicated. I spend the time going over the results, what's important, what's borderline, what it means. I even throw in nutrition advice because that's kind of the basis for all of health, right? Is what we put in our body builds up health or tears it down. There's really no gray area. It's like very black and white in terms of we know how food affects us. Yeah, and it's all really accessible. Like my degrees are in English. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, but 100% of the time, when my clients hear what I'm saying and do what they're told, they're like, knock on wood, like 100% of the time, they put in the work of what I tell them to do, and they're fine.
You fuck fix, yeah.
I figure out stuff for myself, and I'm fine now.
Let's recently talk about this. So you were seeing some older clients in their 80s, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that because that was one of those that I just like that story a lot because people in that age group, it's usually harder to get them to switch and
It is.
habits and to actually accept something like new.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about
It's a big deal.
how they're doing, what you were.
They're doing great. First of all, to the 3 functional doctors and naturopathic doctors that their daughter contacted that wouldn't help because she's too old at 82, you might want to check yourself on that. That's embarrassing for you. That's embarrassing. That's like me being like, hey, I want to run a gym, but only for fit people that look good half naked.
That's it.
That's it.
Hey, I'm opening a CrossFit gym, but you have to be
Yes.
a fit female with a thigh tattoo and you only wear shorts. That's the standard. That's not here.
That's CrossFit my standard.
What am I doing?
We're here to help people and to not be scared. Like you have the tools. But that being said, her daughter was just really worried about her mom because she's like, the cognition is going, she can't really walk unassisted, she's on 9 meds, they're trying to add in this 10th, she's diabetic, she is a breast cancer survivor. And so we roll it back. And so it all began with being overweight for years, so insulin resistance, again, unchecked. And then she's diabetic. And then the cancer came. And now we're on statins. And then the cognition issue came because your brain is minding and all that. We've heard us talk, but you need good cholesterol. So get off the statins. They don't make a difference anyways. Read the study. And so I was like, well, I'll drive down to Walnut Creek, meet with her, her husband, and the daughter, who's a few years older than me. So let's talk about this. And I made it really simple. Instead of getting too deep into the hypothesis of all this, I was just like, okay, here's where the dysfunction started. Here's why eating this way drives that dysfunction, and there's no way of getting out of it unless we make some changes. So it was 3 weeks, 2 different packages of just 3 weeks full of meals. So like literally so many meals to choose from for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that are easy to cook. And you could double down the recipe and have it for 4, whatever you want. And here's why I want you to eat this way. Here's why I need you to eat high protein, high fat, and like no carb at this point. Because I really don't want you to be diabetic anymore. Because you've been on the medication for diabetes for 10 years and your fasting glucose was still like 225 and higher, and the doctor was okay with that.
Are you hearing this?
Yeah. So they buy in. They heard what I said. They made it. The thing is, you just have to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
And just don't throw out big words. It's not scary. Nutrition is not scary and overwhelming. It's your addiction driven by your gut by being off. And this idea that, happiness and being cool comes from food and alcohol. That is just we just gotta work through that together, right? So about 3 weeks in, no, 5 weeks in, she has more blood and her glucose is down to like 92 fasting, and now she has a CGM. So it'll go between like so my notes 90 to like 112, and it's if she has berries the night before, it still keeps it up a little bit. Okay, but damn, we're not at 225 anymore. She walks 2 to 3 times a day. She walks by herself. Her husband's out running errands. 82, yeah. She gardens and she strength trains 3 times a week with her daughter and she's up to like 8-pound dumbbells now.
Wow. So literally just sitting down with you, you were able to obviously ascertain what all these issues were, which that was a boatload. And you said that it was so bad that there were other holistic health professionals who did not even want to work with you.
Yeah.
And not only were you willing to take on that daunting challenge, knowing the age, knowing all the ailments, you actually got a fucking real huge result.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And so I'm just saying one to obviously show, yes, you're freaking killing it, but two, so people can see the age thing, that excuse isn't going to fly either anymore, because Lori just helped somebody who's 82 who was on diabetes medication for 10 years, a freaking decade, and you were able to basically within for 5 weeks change somebody's life with that. They were basically on a trajectory to die comfortably, and now they're actually living.
Yeah, she's living. And I'm going to throw this one in too, because this is a newer thing. So the cardiologist swears by the statin. And I'm asking him, so you go into the cardiologist and they send in the nurse practitioner. So he's not even there. And she's like, you absolutely cannot roll back your statins. You're going to have a stroke or a heart attack. And I was like, when's the last time I did any imaging? What's your C-reactive protein? What's your CRP test? I was wondering this one. So. Oh, God. Jesus. They have never imaged anything, and there was no C-reactive protein ever, because it's too late. You're old. It doesn't matter. Fuck, it doesn't. So I was like, okay.
Wow.
Here's the CRP. There's a couple kind, and there's the heart IQ that does all these different tests, like the CRP that we need, because I just want a baseline. They tell you you're going to have a stroke or a heart attack, but really you're just like going brain dead from the statins, because that's the effect on the brain. And there's no imaging, there's no empirical proof. That's like me saying, okay, I need you to take these 7 medications where you're going to shit your pants and die of a heart attack in 5 minutes. It's that much nonsense. There's not an image of shit. There's no imaging.
I just touched your hat. I know.
I know, though, but I have a feeling. I have a feeling that the kickback for all these medications makes my family eat well. That's probably the feeling. So I'm going to get really angry about this. So then the whole family, the husband, the wife, and their daughter all do it. So let's say 1 to 3 is the range for it's okay. But once you start getting that 2 to 3 and 4, there's a problem with the heart. The mom's at 0.6. Her heart, 0.6. I have a teenager whose CRP is like a 4 out of 5. And again, Kaiser's like, no, just, anxiety meds. There's no inflammation systemically. So what was the driving force for the medication to begin with? Your cholesterol being 198?
Yeah. What's your
there's no image of your LDL? There's no fucking image. Give me a break. Give me something.
We're being
You're going to have a stroke.
Hey. It rained last night at 2 a.m.
It did.
Which means that the likelihood of you possibly having cancer coming up soon is probably.
It's almost like a tarot card reading.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it is.
It's the cards. Uh-oh. So right now you're like the hangman, but upside down.
Yep. And then this thing.
You're going to die.
I don't even want to get you started on that.
No, but I get so frustrated because, again, everyone that uses age as an excuse, whether you're 20 or 90, like, fucking stop. And if you're a doctor, do your goddamn job. Like, run some actual tests.
Yeah. What's the point of having these fancy offices and all this equipment if it's just for show?
I'm the only one thinking of this. No, like really, like
It is scary. Yeah.
like it's scary. Isn't that scary? Like people like live and die by the white coats.
And they're not.
But they said I should just be a vegetarian.
That's terrible.
Okay, so anyways, the good news is 5 weeks of eating well at 82 will change your life. You'll be able to walk on your own. You're not falling. Your memory's coming back. They play cognition games. She's nailing it consistently. She never stops mid-sentence when I talk with her every single week on Zoom. So yeah, and you know what? Had I met her 15 years ago, I would have run these tests on her. But at this point, I already see all the meds, and I take it back to what started it all, which is metabolic dysfunction. And I know that the first thing we need to unwind is diabetes. So we don't need to run these tests. That's the thing. Unlike other medical professionals, I'm not going to make you do tests when you don't need them. Right?
Yeah.
So there's that too.
I love that too. No, but see, but that was the point, guys, was just this show. It's like, number one, Lori has these tests here. So she isn't just going out of the blue on thinking what you may need. She's willing to do a proper diagnostic and find out what's going on in your body. And then she's obviously willing to do a cycle scan to see what your fat is, where your muscle mass is, all these things. And then that right there is what gives her this entire picture to be able to actually get real results. And just imagine that, I can't think of any other general place right now that I could walk into and get all of that coupled with the coaching and the programming to get me at my best. So that's what she offers. And that's a huge deal, because I'm telling you, in 2025, it isn't like the old days where it's like, no, bro, you try to go to the gym and do some cardio. There's a lot more to health now. There's a lot more advancements in technology that allow us to get a deeper look and to solve problems instantly, because we now know what they are. We know how to fix them. And like Lori said, let's say that you are someone who has the MTHFR gene variant and you don't know your whole life, and you've been dealing with all of the issues that come with that, not knowing why. And obviously, you're not, doctor is going to tell you you're just getting old, not knowing that there is actually something wrong that can be fixed and actually improve your life. Yeah. So that's how come these tests are super valuable. If I want to take a test, well, how that works?
Let's reach out. I can I'll give you we call it e-script. It's just a link to your cart, which will have the test in it, and the lab diagnostic solution sends it directly to your home. And then if it's metabolomics, it's a urine sample, GI test, stool sample, and DNA is cheek swab, just like in the crime shows.
Yeah.
Who knew?
No, it's
there it is. It's real life, right? I'm telling you real life. So yeah, and then it takes a couple of weeks, and then we set up. If you're not in the state, then we obviously set up a Zoom or a FaceTime or whatever and go over it. Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, so it's really available to anyone in the country.
So you don't even have to be a member here. You could be, if you're watching this episode and you want the test ran and you want her to help you out with looking at those results. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So really quickly, before we close out, anything else that we want to talk about? Or anything?
We nailed a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, we got some.
Hopefully we stopped Tylenol on film trend, which is as dumb as kids eating Tide Pods, but that's just my opinion. No. I know. I'm old fashioned. I'm old fashioned. She must be pushing 50. You hear her talking about the Tide Pod thing? She didn't think that was super cool, but a high off that before the diet. Yay. Yeah, but no, we've hit on a lot. But the end of the day, like, you're in control of your health. We always talk about this. You need to advocate for your health. If you go to the doctor and you're like just throwing stuff at you, like, show me why you're saying this, why it's necessary, and the efficacy of it through vetted studies that prove that there's anything that comes out of taking this pill.
Absolutely. No.
And then they're going to be like, but trust the science. And yeah, it's more like a money trail on that. But yeah.
A big money trail.
Yeah.
No, we're not even going to get into that.
Maybe that's episode 41.
That honestly might be about the pharmaceutical companies and the money printing machines that they've invented.
And then we're going to suicide ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're in episode 42 and we're hanging from a doorknob. What?
And we have hit it. Just so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's spelled it.
Yeah.
All right. Stay classy, stay consistent, stay healthy. And if you want to jump on with Sober October, I'll give you the link to Karen's program. I'm so stoked about it. Literally every weekend this month is a party, including my 30-year reunion, and I'll be like so out of line.
We do a test.
Because I like to put my money where my mouth is.
You always have. You always do.
Yeah. And Halloween's my favorite place. Whole whistle, faux shizzle. Kind of like Lizzo earlier with full circle. All right. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next week.
See you.
See you.